Subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss another video of Bhakti Charu Swami.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतादिने श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम फर्स्ट कैंटो chapter 8 text 40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam deving saraswating vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 8, text 40. This chapter is entitled as Prayers by Queen Kunti. Ime Janapadaha Shridva Shupakaushadhi Virudha Banadri Nadi Udananto Hi Edhante Tava Bikshitai Ime Janapadasridva Shupakaushadhi Virudha Banadri Nadudananto Hi Edhante Tava Vikshitai Hedhante Tava Vikshitai Ime Janapadashvidha Shupakaushadhi Virudha Banadri Nadudananto Hedhante Tava Vikshitai Ime Janapadashridva Shupakaushadhi Virudha Banadri Nadudananto Hedhante Tava Vikshitai Ime, all these Janapada, cities and towns, Shriddha, flourished, Supakya, mature, Aushadhi, herbs, Birudha, vegetables, Vana, forests, Adri, hills, Nadi, rivers, Udannantaha, sees, he, certainly, edhante, increasing, tava, by you, bikshitai, seen. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. You put your attention there, not that. Haribol. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance, the trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Please repeat after me. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals. And the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of the human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, hills and jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as He desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our own whims and whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reactions of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after the terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications of Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Ime Janapada Shraddha Shupak Kaushadhi Virudha Banadri Naddu Dhanvanto He Adhante Tava Bikshitai. He Adhante Tava Bikshitai. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance, the trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. So, Kunti Devi's prayers and Srila Prabhupada's purports are giving us the perfect example of proper prosperity in human society. And she is pointing out that this prosperity is due to Krishna's glance. As a matter of fact, the whole material creation is due to Krishna's glance upon material nature. Otherwise, the material nature is inactive. Like material nature, matter, is unable to act by itself. Matter is inert. Inert means it cannot act. It is just there, like it is just a lump of matter. But matter becomes active, or matter can move. Matter can become active only there is living source applied on them. So the origin of that living source is Krishna's glance. Krishna glances towards the material nature becomes agitated, or material nature becomes active. Maya, or Prakriti, the material nature, is inert and it is unmanifest. Abhyakta. It's unmanifest. But when Krishna glances towards the material nature, then the material nature becomes active, or material nature becomes manifest. Abhyakta dini bhutani vyakta madhani bharata. Abhyakta nidhanan neva. So material nature was unmanifest, abhyakta. Everything here, bhutani, was unmanifest. And bhakta madhani bharata, in the middle, it became manifest. And then again it will become unmanifest. It's unmanifest when Krishna glances, Mahavishnu glances towards the material nature becomes manifest. And as a result of that, as a result of Krishna's glance, the living entities come to the material nature. And these living entities sustain the material nature. Aparayamitastannan prakriting vidhi me param jiva bhutang mahabaho jajedang dharjate jagat. This material nature is Krishna's inferior energy. It's inferior energy. The inferior energy becomes manifest or active only when the living entities come to the material nature, and the living entities sustain this material nature. It's a simple consideration. We are here because the material nature is manifest. If no one is here, what will happen? If nobody is here, what will happen? Will the material nature be there? Yes, material nature will be there, but it will be unmanifest. No one will be there to witness it. No one will be there to activate it. Like all that we are seeing is due to the influence of the living energy. Like we are seeing the trees. The living entities. We are seeing buildings created by living entities. So it is the living entities that make this material nature active. The living entities make the material nature become manifest, and the living entities witness the material nature. They are perceiving this material nature. And Prabhupada is also dharjate, this expression, dharjate, Prabhupada gave another understanding of that word. Prabhupada said, exploit this material nature. What the living entities are trying to do, they are trying to exploit this material nature for their sense gratification. So this is how it is due to the living entity's presence in the material nature that the material nature is manifest, and the living entity's presence is due to Mahavishnu's glance. So that time it becomes manifest. And when Mahavishnu withdraws his glance, all the living entities will go back to Mahavishnu, and the material nature again will become unmanifest. And then Prabhupada is pointing out that the prosperity of the real prosperity of the human society is due to Krishna's mercy. Krishna has given us everything that we really need. But Prabhupada is making the point. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of the godless civilization. It's a product of the godless civilization. When people are not satisfied with the gift that Krishna has given, what are Krishna's gifts? Food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, jewels. These are actually Krishna's gifts, and with them we can live very happily. But human beings are not satisfied with Krishna's gifts. They actually want to create their own arrangements for their sense gratification. In that respect, Srila Prabhupada actually made a point that the villages are created by Krishna and cities are created by man. Villages where people just live simply, satisfied with the gift of nature. Yes, they make some huts and houses. It's not elaborate arrangements, they're just there. But when man is not happy with that, they want to create elaborate arrangements, and that product of that elaborate arrangement are the cities. Big buildings, many people assemble there, all their beautiful arrangements are there, so-called beautiful arrangements, big roads, big cars, all that. These are all created by man. Apparently there is some prosperity, as it looks like nowadays. We can see the more industrially advanced people are, more civilized they are considered. More human arrangements is the indication or the measuring factor of civilization, of advancement. But I remember there was one article in Back to Godhead long time ago, and that article, Prabhupada mentioned in that article, you cannot eat nuts and bolts. In the factories you're manufacturing nuts and bolts. But the thing is that if there is no grains, if there is no food, you can't survive on those products. You can't eat nuts and bolts, what to speak of cars and aeroplanes. Like Krishna's gift is a real sign of real prosperity. Like there is, as Prabhupada is saying, the Janapada, Shraddha, Supakya, Oshudhi, Birudha. There are vegetables and ripe fruits and herbs. So they are the things that we really need. Like the food is coming in the form of grains, fruits, nuts, and so forth. And Oshadhi actually means grains. The grains and all these are the real food stuff. And when we depend on them, then what do we do? What is the activity that we will be involved in? To cultivate the land, to produce the food. But some people are engaged in that. But then what the civilized human beings should do? They should engage themselves in being engaged in Krishna, in simple living, higher thinking. Higher thinking. Higher thinking means think about something that is beyond this world. Become absorbed in spiritual activities. But now what is happening, all these elaborate arrangements, and what is the engagement? Everyone is engaged everyone is engaged in making money. Some people are making money by exploiting these gifts of nature, and some other people are engaged in making money working for them. Vaishyas and Sudras. Vaishyas, what do the Vaishyas do? Vaishyas actually get the gifts of nature and supply where there is a need, and this is how they make the profit. They make their money. The definition of business is cater to the need of the society. And in simple economics, that is called supply and demand. Demand and supply. Society has the need or demand, and it is supplied. And by supplying, the Vaishyas make their money. But now what is happening? Those days, what was their way of doing? Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijya. By cultivation of land, they would grow food. By taking care of the cows, they'll get milk and milk products. So these are the basic needs, food stuff and milk products. And then they would sell that. And they would also do banijya. things that are not available in one place, they'll go to some place where they're available and bring them into that place. Like spices, like gold. These are the need for the society. So they will go to the places where the spices are available, gold is available, jewels are available, and they would bring them and sell them. So this is how the trading, Banijya, used to take place. But now what is happening? Now it's happening in the form of creating artificial demand and supplying. They're producing things that are meant exclusively for sense gratification. And they're creating the artificial demand, and they're being sold, they're making money out of that. So, and the result is there is acute discontentment in the human society. And the result is violence. There's so much violence because people are not satisfied. They want to have more and more. Like, this is the thing, like, unless you control your greed, it will keep on increasing. Because human nature is like that. Because the human nature is that they want to lord over the whole creation. This material nature is inferior and the living entities are superior. Therefore, it's a natural tendency for the superior to lord over or exploit the inferior. One cannot become satisfied by this endeavor of exploiting, because the more he gets, the more he wants. Because his natural tendency is to get everything for himself, the whole world for himself. Because it's inferior nature and he is superior. And that's why there is conflict. Everybody is trying to have everything. Everybody is thinking that he is the Lord and Master of the whole creation. And therefore, so when everybody is thinking that he is the Lord and Master of the entire creation, what will naturally happen? They'll be conflicting, Therefore, the only way to get rid of that attitude is by turning our face towards the superior nature. If we look at the inferior nature and if we feel that we are superior, then we'll naturally try to lord over. But if we look at the superior nature, which ultimately leads to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then in relation to him, we become inferior. We become not only inferior, we become insignificant. And then we become peaceful. Therefore, it's a matter of just shifting our consciousness from matter to spirit, material nature to Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada coined this expression, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Become conscious of Krishna. Get to know who Krishna is. He is the Supreme Creator. Therefore, he is the Supreme Lord and Master. And he is our dearest friend. The Supreme Controller, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is our dearest friend. So if I have a friend who owns everything, will I have any problem? No. Bhoktaram Jagga Tapasam Sarvaloko Maheshwaram Surhidam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mang Shantim Richati. When you get to know that, then you get Shanti, real peace. A simple understanding. Bhaktarang Jagatapusam. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. And he is the supreme enjoyer because Sarvaloko Maheshwaram. He is the controller, he is the proprietor of everything, Sarvaloka. Everything that we are seeing doesn't actually belong to us, belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor. But Krishna is our dearmost friend. So when we have that understanding, then we become peaceful. Therefore, we have to change our consciousness. When we look at things, instead of thinking that they're mine, we have to think that they are Krishna's. And Krishna is giving them to us. Krishna is not saying that, no, you all starve. No, Krishna, we say that we are seeing that Krishna is actually giving us everything. But what do we do on our part? We express our gratitude. Oh, Krishna, you are so kind that you gave. That means we are developing our consciousness in the right way. Everything that we are seeing, everything that we are getting is actually Krishna's, not mine. Idam Krishnaya na mama. Everything belongs to Krishna, not mine. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. It's a very simple process. Krishna consciousness. And our business as a human being especially is to change our attitude. We have to change our attitude. Instead of thinking that I am the Lord and Master, I have to recognize that I am the humble servant. Instead of thinking that everything belongs to me, we have to recognize that everything belongs to Krishna. And the consideration is, why should you think that everything belongs to Krishna? Then the simple consideration is, because Krishna created everything. I am claiming something to be mine because I have paid the money for that. But if you go deep, then we see that I am able to get it with my money because Krishna has given it. Whatever we have doesn't actually belong to us. And then ultimate consideration is, even I belong to Krishna. Even I belong to Krishna. Orpilu tuapade Nanda Kishore. We have to surrender ourselves at the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna. Very simple process, but we have to develop the right attitude, we have to develop the right understanding, and then only it will be possible. And this verse from Bhagavad Gita is very important to understand properly. Bhoktaram Jagga Tapasam Sarvaloko Maheshwaram Surhidam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mang Shantim Richati. Krishna is the enjoyer, I am not the enjoyer. But that doesn't mean that Krishna is saying, you should not enjoy. No. Krishna, although Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, he is giving us everything very mercifully. So we should accept everything as his mercy. Prasad. Everything belongs to Krishna, and everything is here because Krishna made the arrangement for us. Krishna sees that we need them. Therefore, Krishna has given all those things.